So what's up, world? Welcome back to the channel, guys. I am David, and on today's episode we got to try to fix the snow thrower. Last time when it was on the channel we broke the pull cord on it, and I'm not so much worried about the pull cord, but however we did find out it was leaking gas. It just leaked gas out. There's no gas in it currently, and it was I put a fair amount of gas in, I want to say. So we got to figure out what's going on with that. So let's dive right into this. I've never worked on a snow thrower before, but you know, let's get it done. Let's go for it. I'll give you a look at the setup really fast. We're going to be in my garage because the wind is just real in Delaware. The Delaware wind is unreal. So I got my super cool, this is the best I can do for lighting. I got a little Ryobi lights up here, one there and one there. So to try to help for our lighting situation in here. So it looks pretty decent as far as I'm looking through this camera lens is concerned. So we'll see how this goes. Two bolts here. So I'm going to start with these two. They look like they're about 10s or ½ inches or something like that. And then there's a couple Phillips head screws right here and here. So I'm going to start by taking those off and see what loosens up at that point. Also, for the record, this is a Craftsman. I do believe this is a 179cc motor on this guy with a 24-inch clearing width. And we bought this. We've had this guy for years. To gain access to this 10mm, I'm just going to go ahead and pull this starter solenoid or relay, or where you plug the thing in. I'm just going to, looks like it's just two Phillips head screws holding it on. I'm just going to go ahead and pull it off. So there's another tin way back in here. So I'm going to put a little extension on this guy here. Not way back, but it's in there. There it is, right there. I'm going to go ahead and use a wrench. Let me strip it out. There it is. So down here is the actual gas line right here. So it's got to get that guy off there. All right, so I'm going to try to take this guy off and let the hose flex itself. It is a hose. There we go. There we go. A little bit easier to get at. There she goes. So looking at this thing, it looks like it's still in solid shape. This fitting looks decent. It's probably going to be at this hose right here. This hose is probably going to be broken somewhere in there is what I would think. I'm going to try to just take this shield off or see what it takes to get this off here. Woo. That guy was tight. There we go, we're getting loose now. Oh, there it is. Look at that nice little mud dauber. That's always fun. Alright, so it looks like we're going to have to undo some stuff over this way. So those two bolts there to take this other plastic cover off. Because in order to get access to that hose, I'm going to need to get this out of the way. So let's figure that out. Alright, let's try to pry this guy out of the way. Let's see how this goes. There we go. Alright, so next up, I'm going to try to undo that little line right there. You see it? That guy right there, we're going to do that. So that little hose is disconnected there, and I think we just pry this out of the way. It looks like it's just the primer line and the electric part here, but I think we just kind of move it. There we go. So we just move this out of the way, sort of, kind of. There we go. That works. All right, let's get some more light in here. What is leaking? All right, guys, I don't see anything blatantly obvious that's leaking on this thing, so I learned my lesson before doing the lawnmower. I'm just gonna replace the carb, and that's it. Just replace the carb. They're cheap enough. They're probably 20 bucks on Amazon. So let's do that. And a few days later, the package has arrived. And let's get this thing thrown on here and put back together. And hopefully it works. Alrighty, let's see what we got here. Plastic hoses. Ooh, inline filter, fuel filter. Ooh, another primer. That's nice. And fuel disconnect. Huh. Don't even know where I would put that, but cool. And what else we got here? Some gaskets. Some new hose clamps. And the carburetor. Yeah, I think I spent like 18 bucks on this thing or something like that. They're not very expensive, fortunately. Not quite sure how I feel about this clear fuel line, but we're gonna roll with it. This one pulled out. I wasn't going to, but I'm gonna go ahead and replace this primer bulb since I have a new one. This one's pretty old. Alright, so I gave this guy a little quick cleanup. Now unfortunately I have another gasket here, but it's not shaped the same, so I'm just gonna reuse this other gasket that's on here and hopefully it works and we don't have any issues. I actually forgot how this goes back together. How this should go anyway. I think it goes something like that there. Oops, let's not tear that gasket up either. Alright, I think that's it. Let's go ahead and put this guy back together. Okay, some more. Okay, so what had happened was, and then right, someone forgot to put this little here tube back to there and connect it back on in, so I got to take this thing back apart. Alright guys, it's time to gas her up and see if she's still leaking gas. I was assuming that it was the carburetor that was, old or something, that was why it was leaking, but we did replace the fuel line, so only thing else that could be leaking is the actual tank. I didn't see any indication that the tank was leaking, but I could be wrong. We're going to find out. We're going to put a little gas into her, see if she'll start up, and see what happens. All right, so it started, it ran, it's looking good, sounding good. We're gonna check back in on it in a day or two to make sure it doesn't leak gas, because that was the main problem. So there's gas in it right now. In a couple of days, if there isn't, then we still have a leak and it has to be solved. If it does obviously have gas, then obviously it was the carburetor and problem solved. So let's see what happens. We'll check back in on this in about 2 days. All right, world, it's been a couple of days. We're gonna check to see if we have gas. If you made it this far in the video, drop a comment whether or not you think it worked. I think we're gonna be good to go. Let's find out. Ha! Gas. Yes, look at that. We have gas. Cool. So that worked. I left it out back here because if it leaks, I don't want it leaking in my garage. All right, we're going to chalk that up as a win, guys. I'm pretty excited about that, man. So we all know they're not always wins, but yes, we got a win under our belt for this one. That worked. That's going to be it for that. So don't forget to like and comment, subscribe, all of that fun stuff, guys. Don't forget to do it all for me. I appreciate it. I'm trying to regrow the channel again. Gonna try my hardest to put out more consistent videos, like once a week. I think I want to put them out on a Monday is what I think. But whatever the case is, I don't want to hold you guys any longer. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I do appreciate it. As always, 2 things. Don't forget to take the time to enjoy what you do. And don't forget, work does not do itself. So don't be afraid to get out there and get after it.